Welcome to video number 5 of Living Life Outside of Pickup. I'm here in beautiful Central Park in New York City. And if you can hear it right now, you can hear the dog, the people talking. This is purely nature in the middle of a city, which I find to be quite interesting. So if you're ever in New York City, please come visit this amazing, beautiful park. But what I want to get into today is very similar, well, not very similar, exactly the thumbnail of what you saw. Living life inside of your head ruins you. Your whole life is not the same in your head than if you were present. And my question to you is, what has being in your head led to? Has it led you to the quality of life that you've always wanted? Has it given you the results that you've wanted? Or is it doing what it's doing to most people on the planet? Stressing them out, making them have chaos, always having to do something. I want to get into how being in your head is not good for you. And the only way out of this is looking at the self-reflective pain of what it has done to your life. Being in your head ruins your life. But why do I say this? Why do I say being in your head ruins your life? It's because throughout time, looking at everybody who's been around, the people who have had the best quality of life are those who are least in their head. This has given anyone the best quality of life. There has been even great thinkers of our time who just been in their head. I think of somebody like Albert Einstein, and I remember the woman that I should love with me right now. She's telling me that Albert Einstein was so fucking in his head that he would walk around, so sometimes he would leave the house without his shoes on. And I just went, that's so crazy, because I remember just recently I was thinking about something and I walked out of the house and I was at the elevator and I didn't have my shoes on. I was that much in my head. But the greatest thinkers of our time have absolutely just been in their head and been, coming up with these great things, really. If it wasn't for Albert Einstein, we don't know if we would ever have E = MC squared. We don't know if we would ever have that. There's been times where my friend has told me things about people who are have the greatest minds, and they were great at doing this and they were great at problem solving and being able to come up with great war schemes and all these different things that they can come up with. But if you look at the overall quality of their life, you will notice something very profound. They, overall, the quality of their life wasn't that great. They became very, very powerful at being able to go down the avenue in their mind about what they were thinking about. Because once you think about something over and over and over, you start to get many angles on it. So of course it was great for them to go down that path of just thinking about this thing and then seeing it from this angle and that angle and being able to go deeper, because the more you focus on something, the more you'll get insight. So as they're focusing on it, it goes deeper, and then they'll start to see it in this way and that way, and then this happens. But if you still break apart their life, you will see that the overall quality wasn't as great as you guys probably think it is. Just look at yourself. When you're constantly walking around and you're in your head, what does it actually feel like? And I'm guessing many of you will say it feels like home. This is the thing that we've been conditioned into, is that the mind feels like home. And what feels foreign to us is this moment. When I think about my journey from going in my head to coming into this present moment and learning to be here and trusting this moment more than my mind, I start to look at, okay, what was it actually like when I was up there? What was it like? What was the quality difference between being right here and worrying about what's the next thing I'm going to say? What's the quality difference of when I'm in front of a person thinking about, okay, am I standing this way right? Or am I engaged enough? Or thinking about this thing instead of just being there with them? It was a total difference. There's energies available to you that you don't know about because your mind doesn't have energies available to you that's in the body. The mind can only give you the chance to come up with something, dissect the problem, argue, try to be right. It has so many avenues for you to go that it's very much just a question producing thing. That's what it is. It produces another question, but it never gets you to an answer, because the moment you even try to come to an answer in your mind, your first thing is to question it, because if you go with it right away, that means that you figured it out. And when you figure something out, you go out into the world and start to test it, and then you start to get feedback from it. And the feedback probably shows you that this doesn't work or that works, so then you question even the thing that you figured out. This is why one of the greatest things that's pull people away from themselves is certainty. Because certainty is a promise that you will know. And many people become certain as a mind thing, which means that they build something in their mind and they become certain of it. And then when they become certain of it, it starts to have, of course, feedback for them. And when it has this feedback, we want to, of course, keep it strong. We want to make sure that it's living. But the thing about it is, it doesn't give you you. It doesn't. It keeps you away from you. Certainty, I would say, is one of the worst things that a person can come into. Because the moment you get certain, you stop growing. And this is what I started to do. I started to understand that I'm never certain about anything, ever. I only know what's true right now in this moment. I give you all of this right now to just help you understand how much you have felt like the mind is home. This moment seems so foreign to people. When you really connect to it, you start to see that until you know this moment bodily, until you know this moment, you will never have you. Never. Because you is not discovered through the mind. And this is why you guys always hear me say things like the personality isn't real. This is why you always hear me say that, is because it's a conditioned thing. The most self-actualized people are not those who have a personality. The most self-actualized people are those who have learned to let go of who they think they are. When you are more in your head, when you are being in your head more than you are being in this moment, more you are being here, more than you are trusting of this moment, look at your life. You just tell me. Before I even give you the insight, you just tell me. What has it done for you just being in your head consistently? What has it done for you? But there's a way out of this, because I'm not here to just tell you about being in your head and how it doesn't improve the overall quality of your life. I'm here to tell you that if you start to self-reflect on the pain that is causing your life, you will change. If you were given the chance to change, if you actually were, in this moment, if somebody came up to you and said, you know what, man, I can give you the chance to never be in your mind and only be in your mind when you need to. But most of your life, the majority of your life will be lived in this moment. If somebody told you that, really, what would you do? Would you actually submit to the fact that this is a gray zone for you? This is foreign to you, but you know that it'll improve your life? Or would you just continue with what we call home, or what people have called home, or what people feel into what they call home, which is the mind? I can almost guarantee you that you will take the mind simply because it is much more easy for you to be able to figure things out, or to come to an answer, or to know that you're right about something. This route is much more easy for that. But the moment that you say, you know what, I would rather choose the other route, then you go, well, then I don't have anything to lean on. I don't have to come up with an answer. I don't have to be right. No, I like being right, but on this one, I don't have to be right. There's two different modes you're in life when you choose this side. So, putting all the focus on self-reflection and how looking at your life in a self-reflective way is the only way you can change, you need to look at the parts of your life that you want to change. And as you look at the change you want to have, do self-reflection. Because what you will notice is that it's not changing because you're not changing. That's it. We go, you know what? I want this part of my life to be not so stressed out. I want to have clarity on this part of my life. With my lover, or with, pickup, or with anything that you're going after, I want to be able to go do it and not feel like I'm scared and I'm pinned down by crippling feelings. I want to be able to, in my career, be able to talk up for myself. I want to understand people more. I want to work in a group. Whatever it is that you desire, you can look at the things, but then when you look at it, as you do the self-reflection, you will start to notice something. You will notice that you want all the change, but you're not willing to change. That's it. And if you want the circumstances of your life to change, people are very right when they say this. When you want the circumstances of your life to change, you must be willing to change first. They're very right when they say that. And as you look at yourself, you need to go, okay, what parts of me is making all this manifest for me? That's why I say the self-reflective pain. Because once you look at the self-reflective pain, you don't like to be in pain, do you? No one likes to be in pain. But once you look at it and you can make contact with it, which means that once you can see it, you can start to have a chance to turn it differently. It was only when I looked at myself in a self-reflection way and I made contact with the pain that something different happened. That my life circumstances and the things in my life changed. Even everything from, you guys know that recently I left my company. For me to do that though, it required self-reflection. It required me being able to face myself, me being able to look at myself and go, what do I feel that I truly want? In that process, I started to see that, there's somewhere else that I need to be. Being here right now is just not doing it for me anymore. I need to leave. And of course, when my mind came in, I went right back up to it and I went, but there's a lot of safety, being here with my company, I'm traveling around the world, I'm being able to do what I love, I'm making a lot of money, I'm doing all these things, this feels very safe to me. But I knew that when I got out of my mind, that the truth was still there. The self-reflective pain that I was feeling in that moment, which means that I made contact with it. If I didn't take this choice, if I didn't actually follow what was true for me, what would happen? And I know one of the things in my life that, has pushed me in many ways to making choices is regret. When we get at the end of our life, one of the things that really comes over us the strongest is regret. Like, what are the things in our life do we wish that we would have done? And where would we have been if we would have made that choice? An exercise that I learned a long time ago was being able to just sit in, what is my life now and what do I want it to be? And being able to see what would happen down the future if I didn't take that path. And then after that, what happened next was I did it in the other way around. Like, what if I did make the choice that I wanted? Where would my life go? That's one great exercise you can do. I'm just going to give it away to you. And that helped me because it started to let me see that I won't get old and be thinking back to my life like, wow, this is not what I wanted. What if I would have just made that choice? Fuck, my life would have been so different. And you need to sit in the pain of that. When you do that visualization, you need to sit in what would the pain be like if you didn't do what you wanted to do. So bringing you back to the self-reflective pain, make contact with it. This is the only way you're going to be able to come out of this rut of being in your mind and letting your mind control everything. Because once you make contact with the self-reflective pain that is caused you by being in your mind, you'll start to notice that there's something else I can do. And there is. The other choice you have is being here. That's the other choice. And many people go, yeah, man, but being here in this moment, how's that going to solve my issues? It just sounds like it's a bit foo-foo, which means like a bit loopy. And I'm the one to tell you that it's not. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that I always tell you the most transformative thing that's happened to me in my life was changing the way that I breathe. That was the most transformative thing. I wouldn't be standing here telling you about all this if I really wasn't a living product of, if you change the way you breathe, you change your life. Because not only do you see, you feel. And this is the difference between the mind and being in this moment, is that in this moment you can truly see and you can truly feel, but in your mind you can only feel and only see from the past or in the future. That's it. You will never be able to feel this moment truly. And there's so much that's available to you. The only way to change this is making contact with self-reflective pain, which means being able to see the outcomes that my life has had up to this point by me being in my head. This is the only way through. And when you do this, you'll start to see something very different. You'll start to see that energies were available to me, but I didn't know that. Same here, I didn't know that. I'm much more energetically different than I was 5 years ago. You'll start to notice that you can actually truly feel this moment for real. There's no thinking about what would it be like to be here and you don't have to do that. You don't have to go down that route. And to let you know, I'm not telling you to get rid of thinking, but I am telling you that there's another route for you. There's another choice. There's a better choice. There's a better quality of life waiting for you outside of thinking. That's what I'm telling you. I'm coming to Toronto. And in this seminar, this will be the one where you'll have the chance to ask me the questions that you want to ask me. That's everything from, Tony, what I feel is I can't get out of my head. Like, I try it, but I just can't do it. Tony, I struggle so much with feeling like I'm not worthy of anything. Tony, can you show me the route to being able to not being so frantic and feeling like I have to always do, and I can just sit in this moment and be myself? You'll have the choice to ask me that there. Because this is not only about women and seduction. It's not only about that. It's also about you and your own development, because that's more important than that anyway. That's November 18th, coming up in 2 weeks. The tickets are available if you go below in the description box. Just click the one that says seminar, Toronto seminar, and it'll take you straight to the website so you can be able to see what it is that I offer. In the meantime, what I would like for you to do is that I would like for you to subscribe. Because if you continue to follow me, you'll continue to get the insights that I'm giving to you now. Share this with anybody who you feel that it will benefit. Please share this. And I want to tell you something, leaving the video. It's more important to be that which you already are than to try to become that which you want. So never try, just be. I see you guys next week on Living Life Outside of Pickup.